What's up YouTube, Fotoshooti here, and welcome back to another episode of the September 2011 deck showcase. For this episode we've got one of the more spicy decks this time. I think it's a deck that is more known in Edison, but it's still a deck you can play here in September 2011, which is Dark Calling. Dark Calling gets a lot of cool new tools compared to the Edison deck, especially with cards like Tour Guide and The Shining, which changes it up a bit differently. And for this episode, I've got another guest this time, and who wouldn't be a better guest than Cadigan from WhoNeedsMeta.
Hey guys, what's up? Cadigan here. Thanks Photo for having me on to play and to talk about this deck. And I'll try to give a brief rundown before we play a game here on what we're looking at. So, Dark Calling gets its name from the fusion spell, if anyone's not familiar with the Edison of this deck. It's basically Miracle Fusion, but it banishes from hand or grave instead of field and grave. You're using this to pump out some really big purple cards. Dark Gaia and Malicious Fiend being the two in question. And you're using Prisma to support the fusion spell. You're using Prisma to send the fusion materials that typically aren't that great to draw into to the grave to facilitate just putting out a gigantic monster and closing out the game with your fusion spells. Because Prisma is an elemental hero and a light, it's pretty easy to just throw in a few extra heroes and some miracle fusions, and suddenly you have kind of this neat fusion toolbox deck that, yes, has its roots in Edison, where I enjoy it a lot there, but it gets a lot of interesting new tools between Edison and September 11. So I'll really briefly kind of go over the deck and how it's changed from Edison, if you're with that deck, but also just how the synergies work in general. So Prisma, your Prismable materials are Malicious Edge, Big Piece, technically Cyber Dragon, Ocean, you have Sandgan technically, as well as Grand Mole. You're typically focusing on sending either of the rocks or the fiends to facilitate Dark Gaia, but you can also send Ocean to facilitate Miracle Fusion with the Shining. So that's like part of the deck. Now we have to round out the rest of the 40 cards. So to support this, we have Gores, just because it's a good card, and it's a big fiend for the fusion as well. You do play Cyber Dragon, not really for tribute file in this format like Edison, but because it's a sendable light that you can use to set up BLS if necessary. It's the same reason your the Sandwich to send Sandgan. Has the dual purpose of, yes, being a fiend, a tiny one, but a fiend, but also being a dark if you need just one more card to set up BLS. Because your Prismas are lights, you run Veilers, send Cyber Dragon, it's not a bad its own, you can pretty easily run with a form as boss monster. You have Stratos in here just to search the Prisma. You have 3 Prisma because it's the heart and soul of the deck, and in this format, with the way it's ruled, you can just priority effect send the fusion material monster for cost, so you don't have to worry about Veiler, skill drain, etc., etc. Send is cost. Good part you can get around. It actually doesn't get warninged, so it's great. You could potentially run 2 and run something like an Alias if you're running 2 a lot. Beat or to contend with theirs, but for now I've opted for 3 Prisma. The Ocean is there to send to make Miracle Fusion live. Snowman Eater is here just to be another water for absolute 0, but it's also just like a straight up decent card in the format. Eats a lot of cards, bounces T-Kings, and gets rid of that problem. Tour Guide is another tool that this deck gets in this format that are unique to Tengu compared to Edison. The fact that it's a fiend is really irrelevant because sometimes you big piece in Tour Guide into a 31 Dark Calling that against anything other than Hero Beat is a perfectly respectable attack value. And typically in Edison builds, you won't play Sandgan because it's too slow, but Tour Guide facilitates it well. Technically searches out some of your other fusion material, like Neospatial Grand Mole, technically also Ocean, also Veiler, but you're also just running this package in back Banish fusion materials, and as well as Leviathan Eater, but it's also a water for your fusion. Things to keep in mind. Rounding out the monsters, we have Effect Veiler. Just it's a good card. You could fit hand traps in this deck. I tend to find Veiler. It's one of the better ones. just because it's also a light for your Miracle Fusions to make Shining, which I haven't emphasized as much yet as I should have. How the Shining is in this deck, just because you are on Prisma, and your entire point of the deck is searching it out, and you don't mind banishing it after it hits the grave. So Shining's amazing. It'll Prisma fusion materials going forward. There's a whole lot of this card brings this deck. That is one of the reasons I actually enjoy playing it a lot. Format in addition to Edison. Going through the rest, we have triple Dark Calling and triple Miracle. Given that you can now fuse with Prisma cleanly, I think it's fine to run 3 Miracle as opposed to Edison where I only have 2. Always run 3 Dark Calling if you're bothering to run the package at all. And Future Fusion is here just what it does best. Sometimes it is call the Shining and send materials just so you can then so say you send Ocean and Prisma, you can then Miracle Fusion for an Ab-Zero. Have Shining on board with banished materials when it comes out. But the typical play for setting up Dark Calling is Future Fusion for Ab-Zero, Malicious Edge, and then either an Ocean, or it depends on if you have Dark Calling and Miracle, you'll probably want to send Ocean as well, just in case you Prisma Shining. Otherwise, sending Snowman fine, just set up Ab-Zero. That's that. You have double E-Call and Rhoda just to get to your play starters here. You could run the third E-Call, but at that point with 4 searches, you're probably going to brick on it more often than not. I find 3 to be a pretty good ratio. You play the staple good cards. Double MST is fine. Definitely at least side the third. A lot of Hero Beat or TG Stun or something that runs more back row. Maining the third is definitely a viable option as well. This deck does not like getting interrupted, just because you are playing single cards that summon monsters that are easily turning. You want to try to clear out the back row as much as possible if you can. Using Stratos and MST, for example, accept. Back row, there's not a lot of room for a huge lineup, but you can perfectly manage the Solemn Brigade, manage return with 6 banished fusion spells is typically a game winner when you resolve it. Mirror Force to help protect your Prisma, and Dust Shoot just because Dust Shoot's a good card and it's legal, and it's definitely worth playing with how aggressive this deck can be now, given that you can run fusion. That's about it for the main board. The sideboard here, don't take it as canon. I threw it a bit together before this video here, but in principle, it's pretty solid. The fact that you can Prisma Reveal, Protect, Cyber Dragon act with player's board makes this deck have a it's not completely lopsided in our favor against, but you have a leg up in terms of actually seeing your Cyber Dragon. The one T-King to help against decks like Tengu Plant, or just as a 1900 beater to clash with heroes or potentially Chaos. You run the hand traps to switch out with Valor, depending on your matchups. You can, in this format, run Light Imprisoning Mirrors, since Prisma is not an actual effect that you care about. You just pay the cost to send the material. I still find Leeching the Light is better against agents, but you can switch them out at your leisure. Super Poly for heroes, Debunk for any number of things, Chaos Plants, or hand traps, and Trap Stun. You could maybe put Decree in the deck. I tend to like Trap Stun a bit more, just because you do like the trap cards you have for decks that are heavy on traps like Beat and TG Stun and whatnot. Other cards that I might not have covered yet, I think I said what all these fusion materials were, but I just like the fact that there is actually a sandwich, unironically, in the extra deck for this deck. But you have Tour Guide, so you're running these 2, Levier, Leviathan. The fact that Leviathan is water attribute is great for incidentally setting up a Miracle Fusion play into Ab-Zero. These are all of your reveal fusions. You play 1 Gaia just because Malicious Edge and both of these are Earths, and sometimes the 20 game shot matters. You can definitely fit at least 2 Ab-Zero. I'd like there to be a 3rd Shining in here, but you really don't have the need at least 1 Malicious Fiend to set deck. Try not to make it immediately if you haven't the second one, but you gotta do. 2 Dark Gaia for closing out games. and 1 Chimera Tech, just for seeing or contacting with a Cataster, Hard Trooper, whatever might be on the board.
Could you
So
theoretically reveal Chimera Tech to send a Cyberdrake with Prisma?
that's so you could, if you're trying to really set up the Shining hard turn 1, you could Prisma. Sorry there. You could Prisma, reveal Chimera Tech, send Cyber Dragon, and then you have 2 lights for a miracle for Shining. So yeah, that's something you can do.
Also something to contact you since you have Cyber Dragon on field with the machines.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, absolutely. That is the play you can do. Say you're playing against gadgets or Machinas or Karakuris. If they have a board of machines, yeah, just normal summon Prisma, reveal Chimera Tech, send Cyber Dragon. Your Prisma is now called Cyber Dragon. You can contact with their board with the Prisma. Yeah, definitely a powerful play against machine strategies.
True. So, yeah, thanks for the explanation. You gave a lot of insight into the deck. Um, we will see how the how the match will go. Um, I'm excited to test this out, especially in future tournaments as well. Looks like a really clean list. Maybe something with side deck you could change, but I don't know. It really depends what people are playing. Like right now, we have hero meta, but yeah, it could still change. If people decide to play more TG, for example. So yeah, let's go. Let's jump into the game. Now we finally got a game, and joining me today for this episode is Cadigan.
Hi there, everybody.
Cool.
Yeah, Cadigan, aka Zydalos, or whoever you want to call me, the other guy in Who Needs Meta. Piloting Dark Calling for you today. And we didn't open a fusion, so that feels bad. But we'll see what we're playing against. We might be able to play out of this.
I mean, it's a DB rando, so probably plants.
I hope it's plants. This deck has a fun plant matchup. Are we getting dust shooted? No? Okay, we're living. That's fine. I'm probably just going to do this and start getting some bricks out of the deck so I can draw into my monsters. And just gonna go ahead and do this because priority is Prisma's friend in this format.
Like, there's one important difference compared to Edison,
Yeah,
building
that's
wise.
probably the biggest one is that Prisma sends for cost in this format, which is fantastic. You reveal and you send for cost. Reveal multiple piece and big piece. Don't want to draw the big brick at the moment.
The
If we
big
draw Dark
brick.
Calling,
The big
yeah,
brick, literally.
he is the brick itself. I think we get in there. I don't think we worry about too much right now.
Now our opponent
And they're
takes
thinking about it.
stun.
Okay, they take it. I am going to go ahead and set this. If I can protect it and get another turn out of it, that'd be great. We'll see if it's just like a set MST. Nope.
Also have with the Vela in hand, getting
Yeah.
another foolish effect. Really
The
good.
the one. Oh,
Oh, he summons the brick.
that's hey. You know what? If you want to put a reborn into that, be my guest. Do I Prisma it, or do I Mirror Force it? Because they're probably not going to kill it otherwise. I think I am going to protect it
I
because
mean, you
this
can
actually I have a Rhoda.
get another Prisma from deck.
Yeah, I think I actually let
Mm.
this die. I think that's fine.
I mean, letting him throw a reborn into this is a really good trade in my opinion, especially.
Yeah,
I mean, we have follow up.
I was worried about him summoning Tengu because that's the unfortunate part of Prisma's stat line in this format is Tengu just crashes into it. Another Veiler. Um, you know what? At this point, I'm probably just gonna go Stratos and Stratos into Prisma just to thin my deck a little more. I need to draw a fusion. And at this point, I have the flexibility of being able to go into whichever fusion I want.
I mean, we have 6 of those, so
Right. Oh, okay.
Looks like you're not
Well,
winning your deck.
looks like I'm not. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I'm not going to do anything else about that. Now, if they see MST, that's going to be a problem because we need a monster to stick here. Okay. I am... Man, getting beat down by my own brick here. I think I'll take it and I'm just going to set a Sandgan next turn. I'm going to be a little greedy with this Mirror Force. I have no idea what they're playing. Oh, look.
Could be anything.
That's the thing. Like, we've seen nothing that tells us, gives us any information.
Veil and Reborn.
Let's see, so if I Sangan, funny enough, so if I just set Sangan, it can search me Granimal, which can then put this back in my hand, which is kind of funny. I don't know if that's worthwhile at the moment. Otherwise, it just gets me Ocean or Tour Guide. Tour Guide might be worthwhile at this point.
Tour Guide is outside out to the brick. Like you go into the
Yeah.
bunker.
Yeah. So I think I'm actually gonna go for that. And I'm gonna set this as a bluff at the moment because I have all my pieces on board for fusions. If I draw one, I'd frankly rather him space it at this point. So we'll get this.
Another cool addition for this deck, like Tour Guide being a fiend.
Yeah, Tour Guide being a readily available fiend is kind of big. God, and I drew the ocean too. All right, if we play out of this, we are amazing because we're drawing all of the bad cards. Can I resolve the search? At some point, I am going to have to Mirror Force that card. Let's see what he does here. So if they Veiler or Warning this, at least I still have 2 in deck. And they haven't put me down to such low life that I have to really worry about dying. Unless they just like go off on me here. Okay, so that goes through.
So do we
Okay.
go? Okay, we're not going into next
Nope.
yet. Looks like
Nope, we're not. That's fine. At this point, I probably will Mirror Force if he just swings in with Big Piece again. I'm just gonna pass. Yeah, the format gives this deck a lot of tools to thin the deck and draw into the fusion, and you finally have the shiny to actually support running triple Miracle and triple Dark Calling. Oh, it might be Chaos. That's cool. That's a cool deck, although I'm surprised to see the amount of back row that they have. Ooh.
yeah, normally they're just running like a Treacherous or a Dust Shoot maybe. You see a
Yeah,
lot of hand traps.
I am gonna Mirror Force this, but they're gonna get a T-King, so we'll have to watch out for that.
Kinda unfortunate they hit a monster, especially when they're running that much spells and traps.
Yeah.
It's
Or
like
conversely, they might have seen like
everything.
50%. Yeah.
That's like one of the main issues why you can't run a lot of spells and traps. Like it's not very good with your Demog. But I think it's cool you have like a deck which can still play Demog.
Yeah, actually, I like that card a lot. Yeah, go for it. Dim Alk is a really neat card. Like I could have Veilered the Dim Alk there, I guess, but it didn't really feel necessary. And he already normaled, so I can get into my extra deck here without it and potentially search before it comes out. Okay, we finally see a fusion. Alright, so that's good, and it's live. Well, it's not as live as it could be, but I have the Mally Edge in my hand. So I think we try to bait out back row here before we drop the fusion. So I'm going to flip this up. He's going to give me the all good. One play to keep in mind is that sometimes you do want to send Grand Mole first instead of Big Piece, so if you banish it with Calling, you can Levier it back. I'm not going to opt to do that here. Just because I want to try to bait out whatever he's got with like a Leviathan Dragon first. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to flip this e-call.
What are we getting here at this point?
Prisma's pretty much the only thing left anyway, but it's what I want to get just to thin things out. So I'm going to send this Mally Edge. All right. We're gonna reveal that guy. We're gonna send it. That way we don't have to draw it and worry about it ever again. So this is 42 on board at the moment. Dark Calling is definitely game, but I'm worried about overextending. So I think I'm just
I feel like we're
show
in
me
a
this.
good enough spot here.
Yeah. And the nice thing is T King can't, like, if he like dark holes this board or I run into Mirror Force, like T King can't negate this. So I can at least put a monster on board. All right. We're just gonna go battle phase and try to swing.
Oh,
Okay.
so
there.
he actually plays real trap cards. Okay, I didn't expect that.
Okay. So
But
there
it's
are.
good we played a bit more conservatively.
Yeah. I'm not gonna just jump this yet. I'm not worried about dying. Famous last word. We'll see what they got.
Yeah, I don't think Chaos has that much truth to OTK.
Yeah, and there's only 2 lights in there. I'll take 19. Show me another back row. Okay. No, we're good. Seeing a warning there is nice. I am just going to go ahead and activate this call.
No, let's see if he tries to tribute his Thunder King.
I'm worried about this being a warning. I was hoping to see an MST at some point in here. Oh,
Oh, it's
Judgment.
Judgment. That's
Okay.
slightly better.
It's slightly better just because it puts them much lower. All right. So the question becomes, do I set this ocean or not? Hmm. I think I do. I think I do, and I set this warning.
Maybe he goes for the Edison Classic Chaos target back row.
Classic. Oh, well, doesn't matter. That's fine. All right, show me a tour guide. Let me actually do something with this Veiler, please. Oh, okay. We're just attacking. Why did he just heavy storm and then attack? I guess they really want to keep the T King.
Maybe
Was
he's
worried about
afraid of
Air Force.
Mirror Force or Prison.
Yeah.
Feels like better to just hold the storm for a potential Chaos monster dropping. Oh, I think that's good, really good.
Yeah, I don't mind seeing that right now. I think I'm just gonna keep these Veilers
Yeah.
so I can drop the Gores, and we're just gonna pass it over.
What does he have? Light and Dark Engrave?
No, just lights.
Oh,
So
okay.
presuming they're playing Chaos, they don't have any. All right, we'll drop that.
Unfortunately, we can't synchro into an 8 without token.
No, there's there's like 10 too few extra deck spots to to fit in any synchros. I wish.
Yeah, the funny thing is they are all necessary. Is he trying to max the damage step? Okay.
That would be pretty good if you could just +2 off of opponent revealing cores.
I mean, there's sometimes this play when you go for a game anyway that you drop max
Just
C in
drop
case
it.
they have cores.
Yeah. I mean, thank goodness, but yeah.
Okay.
I was wondering if they were just gonna dark hole. Like if they were that afraid of. Oh, is it a
No,
Caius?
it's a guy.
It is the Caius. All right. I
Um,
think I Veiler that.
yeah, I don't think there's no reason to not Rayla it.
So I didn't have to because I can if he. Caius is this. I still have this token and I contribute it for Mali Edge.
Yeah, but the
And
Mirror
beat.
Force is
Oh,
gone, so
okay.
we okay.
Here's where it gets good. So can I make it game? Yeah, I can make it game through Gores, even without tributing for the Mali Edge, because I have everything I need for the Shining in here and then some. So let's see. We know they have Maxi. That's fine. I don't plan on giving them more than one card. Or do I go for Ab Zero? No, that doesn't give me enough damage. So I have to go for Shining here. Shining beats over this for 800, and then Gores kills them cleanly.
127, yeah.
So
I mean, they could have Fader, but then
yeah,
it is what it is.
yeah.
I don't see a play. I don't see any play here where we can play around Battle Fader.
No, this should win the game either way. I guess I'll put this in attack hypothetically, but we'll attack over for 8.
I mean, he could have track, but then you can
Yeah,
still beat over.
I do.
You can
Okay.
beat
All right.
over it.
So
Oh, you could
so
have
I
actually won by
I should
tributing.
have tributed. Yeah. So we missed lethal by not tributing.
I mean, plays around Dark One when they have Battle Fader.
It was. Oh wow, and they
Oh
have it.
no.
Okay. I mean that's still fine. This is still huge. I am not going to tribute this. Man, I can't believe they had both. All right.
That's chaos in a nutshell.
Yeah. That's fine though. Is what it is.
I mean, they can't do much with this token, to be honest. Like, they can crash into our token.
Yeah.
They can't deal with the Shining. They can't deal with Gauss, and then they draw. I mean, they
They
can draw
have
Gauss Monster now.
if they have another Caius, they can get out of this.
Yeah,
But
Caius and another Chaos Monster.
that deck typically doesn't run. Oh yeah. Well, BLS would get them out of this. Somewhat. BLS banish this and then trade. Puts me in a weird spot. Although at least I have Veiler for BLS.
I mean, I'm running double Chaos in my Chaos bed. I don't know if that's the norm, so.
I don't know. I know at least one is. I've seen lists play 2.
I feel like it's good when you have stuff like Battle Fader. Also, which you cycle with the mark. I don't know. We will see. Like
Yeah.
he's playing like I don't know if Cali effect played with a lot of spell traps. Ah no, Cali effect played like the random mid stuff. Like
Yeah.
a lot of different approaches to the deck.
Okay. Are we gonna see like an honest here, or are we just trading? So if they have honest for the token to run over shining, that would feel really bad. Although we would still win the game if that's all they have.
So they have the Chaos Monster. Please,
All right,
please
if it's
yes.
Sork, oh,
It's
it is
of
BLS.
course it's the BLS, but
All right,
they have to
it
banish.
has to affect, yeah, which we at least have the Veiler for.
And I feel like
Yeah,
if
I
he
mean,
drops BLS,
it's
he
fine.
doesn't have a second Chaos Monster in hand. Oh,
That's
what?
a problem now. Oh no. Crap. All right, so I think I have to Valor this. Hold on a second. Does it
Takes
even matter if I Valor? So if I Valor it,
300, 800.
then that I think I live. We'll find out.
I think he has
Either way,
3K on board. But yeah,
I'm just gonna make them play it out. There's always the potential that they just mess it up.
yeah. I was calculating it, and if he like runs
Okay,
again,
so that's 3. Oh my god,
yeah,
this is really one of those situations where like they have everything.
yeah. That track, Gorus, Chaos Monster, and Mind Control. The thing is,
We
they can't kill
live.
us. That Mind Control becomes very mediocre.
Yeah, and if they can't, they have to do
Ah,
something with this
so yeah,
token or this, or I win.
yeah. So you had around 500. So my math was correct. But
Okay.
I feel like we win. Like you can just attack into the Gorus,
Yeah, into the
so they
gores.
can't drop honest. Oh,
Well, I have the super game now. But I am just going to swing into this. No, you know what? I'm not.
what?
I'm just gonna summon the guard.
He saw the
Okay.
duck calling. Oh, come on!
Ah, I was gonna do it. All
For
right.
this for YouTube, come on.
So we know they're playing. Well, we're guessing they're playing chaos. That's what it seemed like with Dim Alk and all that.
Yeah, that was
Um,
definitely chaos.
so what Max C's not really that great against them.
Le
Valor's honestly fine.
yeah. Leech Crow is so mediocre against this deck.
Yeah,
Like you have
I
to
I
preemptively drop it. I think it's not very good.
like I want to say the MSTs are kind of mediocre, but they saw a lot of back row. So thinking about that, Leeching's not that great. Super Poly's kind of funny for their light monsters. I might consider that. Debunk is not really that. I'm kind of realizing I don't have that many sides for pure chaos.
Some I mean some people cite debunks for the hand traps, but I'm also not convinced. Like
Yeah,
Sidra
I
is
might.
good. Like a lot of the like you can cite one debunk, I guess.
Yeah,
Sidra is also good going second. Like sometimes he's
yeah.
also running Cyber Dragon in main or even inside.
I think I want to keep that. Honestly, I think I might just do this. Put in some monster. I don't know. This feels kind of funky. We'll just swap these in and see how it. The rest of these feel fine. Actually, I'm going.
I think Dust
I'll
Shoot
keep
is normally if they wouldn't have run any traps, you could still potentially keep the Dust Shoot in since
shoot.
Chaos
Yeah, they had a
is
lot of cards in hand the whole time.
yeah
I'm just gonna swap these and we'll see how it goes.
like Chaos against Chaos or against Agents as well. You can keep it in going second, no problem.
Hey, we opened Heavy Storm. Oh boy.
But absolutely nothing.
If we see a
Yeah,
Prisma or anything to get to Prisma, we'll be golden.
yeah. Prisma turns this hand online, but
Yep, all good. I'm not gonna Valor that card in any universe. Hey, we got lucky.
I'm running a couple of spells and traps, uh, biting him right now.
I think if this is more of a cookie cutter list, I think that deck typically runs somewhere in like the upper 20s to like almost 30 monster.
Yeah, I think my build
Yeah.
runs like 31. Or was it like my 31 or
Okay.
30?
Question is, do I heavy storm just so I make sure Prisma sticks? I almost think it's worth it. Cause I am going to, because this hand is absolutely nothing without it. So I'm gonna one.
Oh, it was the
Okay.
Mirror Force again. And
So I'm
normally they
glad I
don't get that much like value out of Heavy Stone against Chaos. Like we only kept it in because we saw a couple of spells and traps.
just in case. Do I go for Prisma here just to have an extra hero? I think So let's see. If I go straight for Prisma, send Ocean so that Shining is live. Beat over that. He beats over that. Okay. I think I'm just gonna go straight forward, actually. Wow. We're gonna go ahead and priority effect. We're gonna send the Ocean, because that turns on Shining. And Shining gets back Prisma to make Dark Calling live. If we're on something else by then. If he Honests here, I'll probably just drop the Miracle. Okay.
I feel like Honest would have been fine right now. Means
Yeah,
we can't be killed by Honest BLS.
I might just set this. Setting this is a little greedy and presumes that my Miracle is going to go through. No, I'm not gonna set it right now. This is fine. See, Lila crashes with this. T-King just beats it over. They have, and I mean, Dim Elk just actually activating its effect gets over it. Yep.
Not even sure they are on like the random build stuff.
There goes Caius. Yeah, I guess it's not all that common to put like Raikos or Lilas or anything in there, is it?
Like I think the cow stack, people play. Oh, the reborn again. This
Reborn
time.
again. At least this time he couldn't reborn my Ocean. Yep. So he's gonna beat over it either way. Oh,
Oh,
they still gain the 5, right? Yeah. Okay. So I take
getting
1.
really unlucky.
Lucky and unlucky. Seeing Reborn in opening hand 2 games in a row, but hitting spells off of the Dim Alk. Okay, that's kind of cloggy. At least we're basically immune to Trap Dust Shoot at the moment, because our hand is all is all not Pringles. I think there's nothing to it but to see if the Miracle goes through.
One
All right,
is
that's
almost broken.
perfectly fine. I am perfectly okay with that.
I feel like he could have sided out the Maxis against his deck.
They should have, unless they just really didn't know what they were playing into. This is beyond fine, because now this is pretty much guaranteed to come back to me. Um, for 19? Because that only stays until the end phase, right?
Nah, as the attack boost is only until the end phase. Not, it's not permanent or anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you
Yeah.
just it's not doing math correctly right now. Or not reading the card. I mean, we are Yu-Gi-Oh players. Yu-Gi-Oh players generally don't read.
That's I certainly can't. I never read. Heck, I used to conduct like multiple normal summons in a turn. I was just that good. We set this so that even if he's able to respond to this, we have heroes back.
I mean, mistakes happen.
The Shining is a huge addition. I am perfectly fine with seeing duality here because that means they're not special summoning, which it doesn't look like they'd really be able to do anyways. But yeah, the Shining's a huge transformation in how this deck plays and makes Prisma that much better.
I feel like Shining in general is like a huge boost for the Euro deck, or it makes zero beat decks
Oh,
feel way more complete, or enables stuff like Neo Zeros. I feel like Neo Zeros can't work in like a format like Edison, for example, since you feel like the light attribute is so important.
Tour Guide, duality into duality, classic, and T King.
Probably
The good
getting
thing is that
upgrade.
Sea King doesn't really stuff this deck except for being 1900, unless you haven't seen a Prisma yet. Since Prisma is just Ascend, it doesn't block Prisma or the fusions. But if you have to E-Call or Stratos for Prisma, then it gets kind of dicey.
Yeah, like Thunder King is good like in a couple of first turns.
Yeah.
It's like similar to the Scrap Dragon. Like you can play really well into Thunder King since your Scrap Dragon floats into stuff. But if you are forced to search something with a yard or have
Yeah.
multiple dualities in hand, it's really bad. Oh,
Okay, duality, add, tour guide. That's fine. They can't use it this turn. What are they going to do in the meantime?
setting cards.
Setting a card. All right.
Let's hope it's
Oh
not.
gosh.
Oh, what?
Oh gosh.
I mean, we're seeing enough fusion spells.
So the funny thing is here, if they can't answer this board, then I can just return. Like if this just swings in cleanly, then return his game. But
Imagine if
let's
they prisoned this.
yeah.
I wouldn't
Oh
be
my
surprised
god.
at this point if he's on dimensional prison.
I'm yeah. Let's just see what happens. I think we just go for game here. I don't. So if one of these is a warning, they go down to 500, and Shining's still on board.
Mirror Force also
And
gone.
they will have a light and dark if they tour guide into Leviathan. Uh, I see no reason not to try for it.
I mean, look at the sand. Oh,
Okay, all
okay,
right.
yes, warning.
So they did have the warning. Darn.
Yeah, I also think it was correct to try go for game view.
Yeah. I'm just gonna bluff set one of these. I don't care if they get rid of it.
Let's just hope they don't have like a Chaos Monster. Like that's a shame. This is like a game we can easily lose just because of that awkward draw.
Yeah, they could definitely burst us down now, which is unfortunate. It would be hard. No, I think it would actually be almost impossible for them to do it because even Tour Guide and Leviathan make Chaos Sork or BLS, they still have to banish this, and they won't be able to kill us through it. But we're not drawing into our hand's not that great. We'd have to draw. Let's see, how many Prismas do we have left? We've seen one E-Call, one Prisma. So we have two more actual Prismas, another E-Call, Rhoda, Stratos. So there's 5 more Prismas in here to make it live, plus the hard materials to actually make this live. So there's a decent amount of top decks that we
Yeah.
could get
Like
that make this hand not awful.
my main issue is right now like Shining getting banished is fine as long as we don't have the Berlin Wall on our hand, which we currently have.
Yeah. So that we know they have Caius and Tour Guide in hand. Okay, there comes the Tour Guide. Wish one of these callings was a Veiler.
Yeah, would feel way safer if we had Vader. Maybe they go for a Levier play now.
To get one of
Get
my heroes. That
get
would
our
be
prism.
interesting. I hate that. That would actually be a completely reasonable play on their part. Deny me getting it back. Yeah, they do. Oh, that's frustrating. Alright,
But it
that's
also
fine.
means they potentially don't have a Chaos Monster since they summoned the Levier in defense and the Prism as well.
I would assume, unless they're worried about Mirror Force. So the funny thing is here, if I'm not afraid of this, I can just tribute this from Alley Edge and Pierce for game. Oh, do I do it is the question. What? So they didn't Mirror Force it. They... What could it be? Oh, well, we've already seen Mirror Force. And a warning.
I don't think it's a battle trap. Like they would have used it.
And we've seen Book from them already. What do you think? Is it kind of funny to just tribute this for game? I think it is.
Yeah, you can go for it.
I think I'm
Like
just gonna go for
you
it.
can warning.
Can't warn it. It has to be judgment.
Could be torrential, but I feel like torrential. Oh, that's like literally the only thing.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, that does make me lose, but that's okay. It was funny. We'll go into game three. We'll see if they turn it around.
I mean, if when you are leading, you can go for a bit for those ballsy plays.
We know they have Caius. Yeah, they have so many ways to not lose here. I don't think it triggers. Yeah, it yeah, unfortunately. I would love to have that hero back to my hand just to set it. But the Shining, for all of its good qualities, is still a win you can monster.
Yeah, those kind of died in the modern game. Like I think that's specifically a retro Yu-Gi-Oh thing.
Uh yeah, I would have to hope.
I mean,
Or if they print
to be fair, there are young things
yeah.
which are still like 9 years old. Like, Duelist Alliance is 8.5 years. Was 8.5 years ago. That's crazy.
And the example of being tributed game treats a monster as being tributed, and then the monster being tribute summoned, and that gap causes when you can monsters like the ah. There's a whole bunch of missing the timing is a whole TED talk.
Yeah,
I didn't even explain that all that well, but just kill me. Just do it.
no Sengen is mandatory. Yeah, that's one of the issues I have with Yu-Gi-Oh! Actually, that sometimes when you are reading cards, when you
Oh,
get into the game or into a retro format, how do you know that?
yeah, there's so many unintuitive features in this game that aren't explained up front. Oh man. Okay. So I can't even bluff my way out of it. That's fine.
Yeah,
Just
so
put your monsters in attack and I'll hit the admit defeat button.
1800,
I mean heck,
28.
just Leviair from my ocean.
Yeah, that's pretty much game.
This
If you,
this isn't. If they fumble this, man, I'll be living.
I don't know, I feel like this is not very
Okay. So that's
that's not very nice.
35. They okay.
Okay,
Good.
he's getting there. Summon Ocean in defense. Okay.
And okay, we got there. We got there. All right. Into I don't really know what else
I think going
to
first
do here.
could go
Going
for debunk.
They have had Maxi, but it hasn't really done anything. Valor doesn't really do all that much to this deck either, although it does suck on Dark Gaia. I guess Honest and Gores and Trag it's good against. So let's swap that out for a Cyber Dragon. We'll keep the 1 in there just as a sendable light in case we need it. And I don't know. Do I put MSD back in here?
I mean, you could. He is on a couple of traps, so it's.
The few traps they've had have messed me up. So, no, I think I leave it out. I think we're good with the 1 debunk. We'll go with that. Okay, we open
Tour guide
with
together with
tour guide
Cadigan.
Sangan. Okay, this isn't awful though. Options. I think I'm just gonna
Yeah.
Stratos for Prisma here.
He's asking, is there a reason not to Stratos first turn, try to go get the Prisma?
No, setting Sangan and trying to search like Gradmal or something's a little greedy.
I mean, you could
So we're,
theoretically, like, summon the tour guide to bait out the Veiler. I don't know.
yeah, no, I think this is fine. I think I am going to set this. If they summon T King, I am going to. If they summon Alchemist, I'm probably not. Even though they'll trade. If they summon Tour Guide, I'll probably warning them. Okay.
Duality. So they are not going for a tour guide.
Nope.
Yeah.
Okay, they got an Alchemist though.
Oh, so you're getting tour
Oh my
guide.
god. Don't grab the judgment. Please don't grab it.
No.
That card has won. That card won the last game. Okay, they had Tour Guide. Interesting. I wonder if they already have another decent normal summon.
I mean, you could argue we could have just not go for the shiny,
Because
for the
if
Many
they,
Edge.
yeah,
I don't know.
if they don't, okay, I am gonna warning that. We know they have Tour Guide in hand. That's fine. I have Dark Hole, but at this point, I can put a lot of damage on board. I mean, theoretically, I could kill them next turn. I think. Okay, they have that. We know it's not Judgment. Could be a warning. Oh, I drew the Mally Edge. Actually, that's not even the worst thing in the world. Because I theoretically could game shot them, but I'm planning on that being some kind of interruption. Let's see how this goes. Someone fine? Okay.
Oh, it's a wall.
Oh, all right. So I cannot Dark Calling
That sucks.
yet.
It's not the end of the world, but it still sucks.
Yeah. I mean, I can force it if I really want to next turn. Like I can set Sangan, Dark Hole, add Grand Mole, and then Dark Calling from hand if like that situation really ever arises. I think I attack here. Let's see if they gores me. I'll probably Dark Hole if they do. Drag. All right.
I don't think you're Dark Hole here,
So
correct?
let's see. They have Tour Guide in hand. Tour Guide makes Leviathan, and then they'll have 3 in hand. 25, 18, and say they have a take this. That'd be 12, 18, so that'd be 55. That would not be game. Although they would have a dark.
They could
I
drop
mean, that's a
PLS.
really. Yeah, I mean that's a really like apocalyptic take on what could possibly happen here, but it's worth considering. If one of these is a level 4 and draw a big character, we could be crap. Feels really bad to dark hole that though.
I also don't like it.
Yeah, it's thinking a little too far ahead. I think we'll just pass if we lose. Then that's some wild stuff. If they like Roach, we have Dark Hole. Like they have the tools to kill me if they have enough of the right cards. Oh, and they check their graveyard. See what they got. Okay.
Okay,
All right.
going for
T King, Dark Hole.
kind of interesting. They're not going for the tour guide. Like that would instantly.
Yeah, and Caius.
Maybe he gets baited by the Chaos.
Yeah. Oh, takes T King. That's fine. I'm probably going to Dark Hole whatever they do anyways. Oh, okay. So they're just taking it.
I think that's still fine. Like they can't. Why are you not
No, I mean
just?
they can't. They can't overlay.
But why aren't you
I'm
just going for normal Sum Thunder King hit over? That seems weird.
Yeah, I
Like
I would agree.
like they invested in an additional card just to get your Striders, and they can't even overlay for like a Rojo and Utopia.
Yeah, I agree. It seems questionable unless they had another normal summon. Like if they, no,
Yeah.
they don't, or if they do, they're not playing it.
They also had a light already engraved, and they can't drop a Chaos Monster. There's would have been cases where you can argue for it.
Interesting. Nothing's banished,
Yeah, they
so
have
I can't do anything good with Levier. If I hard draw a rock next turn, I'm gonna feel pretty good about it.
or Prisma.
Prisma would be fine too. The thing being if I hard draw, well, if I hard draw Grand Mole specifically, that'd be great because I could banish it and then do tour guide Levier
Ah, yeah,
shenanigans.
I always forget that you can you choose from hand with Dark Calling. Like it's like the
Yeah.
opposite. It's like the Evil Hero equivalent. Oh, you can't do that. No, 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 you can't do that. Like the Evil Hero equivalent of Miracle Fusion.
Yeah.
Like, I always forget they are supposed to work like opposites.
Yeah, it's actually extremely relevant in so many situations, especially when you have bricks like this that you just can't get out of your hand.
He probably wouldn't have gone for like the Steel Stratos play if he didn't forget his duality. But yeah,
Okay.
a couple of people will do that. Looking at you, Shameless Law.
So they didn't judge or they didn't what do I think they have here? Because I could just do I do that? I could just set this Dark Hole, add Grand Mole, Dark Calling these away, and then have Judgment Tour Guide
I think I actually like
for
that.
it. I think that is what I'm gonna do.
I
It
mean,
doesn't win the game though, so it's like, do we run into big
uh,
a big like gores? That's the only problem.
but do we get anything out of the Sengan at this
Because
point?
we could theoretically just like Tour Guide for Leviathan and
I
just
think
have a big card, back it
Target
up
for
with a Judgment.
Leviathan is probably the safest play.
Yeah, it's probably like the correct play, but there's some funny situations where it's not that good. Like if they have Max C again. It's funny that there's legitimate consideration to doing that
I think we're
because that will
overthinking this a bit too much.
probably. I have a habit of doing that. Um, I'm
Same.
just gonna do this because I can't kill them even if I do that swaggy play. Okay, so
Oh,
they do have it. I think that's going to be fine. I'll just,
still not the end of the world, I think.
yeah, I am gonna keep the Sangan in hand. I thought about specialing the Sangan just sitting on it, but I need to clear some of their cards.
So yeah, Leviathan Dragon still hits over track, even with
Yeah, I think I am gonna give them the plus, and then I'm just
yeah.
gonna set the judgment.
I mean, that would have been an issue if he had like one card more in hand.
Yeah.
Don't
All
see him
right.
doing much with the Stratos, to be honest.
Nope. Trag is a bigger concern at the moment.
Like, it's annoying if he has Kaias plus Chaos Monster in hand.
Uh, highest Chaos Monster does win them the game. Yeah.
Or, I don't know, Chaos, not even, Chaos Monster BLS wins him the game. Like, but if he has Chaos Monster, he probably sequences it a bit different, like, probably this arc first.
I should have done the Dark Hole Sangan play. It would have been cooler.
Yeah, sometimes you get punished for doing the correct play.
The more safe plays sometimes less ideal. Just depends on what you think the opponent has or how hard
Yeah.
you lose depending on what happens. Like we didn't hard lose to them having Maxi, but we probably would have hard lost if they had Gores to the Dark Hole Sangan Dark Calling play.
Yeah, which we
Because we
don't
had
know you could have.
right. We would have had nothing for it.
And normally this shouldn't even be in here against us in game 3.
Yeah. Yeah, they must have just kept it in for tour guide,
Or he's
which
not
is
even side, or he doesn't have a side deck. That could be a possibility as well.
that's true also. Okay, so
This
we
is
have one chaos monster in defense. I need to think about this. So, if I judgment that and they're still able to clear this Leviathan, I lose. If I don't and they banish it and they have a single normal summon, which we know they do in Tour Guide, we lose. Oh, I think we lose either way, actually.
yeah, he crashes, or
Okay.
yeah, he crashes
Yeah,
and then he hits with Stratos.
yeah, I think we lose either way. How funny is that? Uh, hmm. Is there any way to make them think that I have more than I do? No, so they just banish this. Man, that stinks. Punished for doing the not the not bad player. Yeah, I think I lose this either way, so I'm just gonna judgment.
You get punished for doing the funny play last game, and now for doing
And
the conservative play.
yeah, yeah, it feels bad. Have another chaos monster just to rub the salt in the wound. I'd love to know what else. I'd love to know if they actually had the cores.
I'm not even sure why he's thinking that long. It's
Yeah,
not that complicated.
yeah. If we had the Veiler here, it'd be a different story,
Yeah,
but we don't.
like we didn't see them a lot in game 2 and 3. So maybe he goes for a levier play, but
Oh, that would be our hope. Nope, nope, they got it.
not even. He
So
could go get the Thunder King back, summon an Utopia, crash into it, and hit with levier direct anywhere. Yeah.
yep. Man. Should have just had fun.
Yeah.
Uh, GG's. Vader.
Fader, okay. So Fader wouldn't have been that much of a punish.
So if I had done that, so if I had done the Dark Hole play,
Maybe this could have been a better play since it clears both monsters, but I know we are so low. I'm not sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
so with Vader in hand, well, they would have drawn one less card from Xe. But they would have still had Tour Guide in hand at least. So I would
Yeah,
have cleared their board. I would have had a 3,500 Dark Gaia on field. They'd be at 600. Say they have the Chaos Sork. I judgment that. Tour Guide's not big enough to get over. Yeah, I mean, Valor is also not that great. Also mainly good against Tour Guide or Stratos. But it can be nichely good against Dark Gaia because it puts its attack at 0.
yeah, I would have just
But
straight up thrown on all the hand traps, like except for the battle stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. So I was right. He was just not side decking.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got outplayed by him just not siding at all. So yeah, that was sad. We could have gone for a different play. But yeah, I
Yeah,
think this deck is still really cool.
it's definitely really fun. You do have to kind of think out your. You have to figure out what to send with Prisma. Think about your deck ratios, which fusions you have yet as correct send at the moment. But it's a very fun deck. I like it, and it gains some really tools here for Tengu Plant. Yeah, it's a good time. I'll definitely try to play it out a little more in this format to see if I can refine the list a bit further.
Maybe for Tengomania.
That might be what I bring if I at the next one I attend.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. So that was it for the September 2011 deck showcase. Thanks, Cadigan, for joining me today.
Of
And
course, thank you for having me. It's always a good time.
yeah, pleasure was all mine. Was a cool match, even though you lost. But
Yeah.
may, maybe we're having you again for another episode. Maybe insects. I don't know. Have you
Oh
built insects?
boy. Count me in. That'll be a unique form of punishment though.
Yeah. I mean, you might have to bring the build. I'm the insector guy, but that's insectors and insect decks are like two different worlds.
Oh yeah.
Yes, so but it would be funny, like the insector guy and the insect guy doing it together. So yeah, that could be something funny for the future. So keep an eye out for that. So until then, see you soon for the next episode, and goodbye.